Woohoo! This has been dispelled. This notion that I only wear yellow, CSK win. No. Color doesn't matter. Yeah. Chennai Super Kings, Anbudhan, our yellow. They are now in second position firmly with 15 points. They have opened up a 3-point lead with the Mumbai Indians, 4 points with Lucknow Super Giants. Every win that you can get, you have to do it because 27-run win means Delhi Capitals are out of the playoff race.
Absolutely.
First team to be knocked out of the playoff race. And we have special guests coming in from County Ground. County Ground Oval. Okay. Nikhil,
No,
Shane also
this
said,
is
"Hi guys, can you hear us?"
Chesterley Street from England. And as is very common in the English countryside, this is typical village cricket happening. The only difference is you seldom get lights there, but we've got floodlights as well. So that's what we've innovated. Floodlights, our game is on. And it's on a knife's edge, unlike the game that you just witnessed where Delhi, as you said, I think mathematically, I don't know, maybe some, Einstein type genius might find a way of telling us that Delhi can qualify. But I think logically, if you don't get 16, very unlikely in a 10-team tournament. So they are out. I think they are eliminated. But with a team where, David Warner has not come to the party, where, you're going to rely on Manish Pandey and Lalit Yadav and the likes to win you games, then I think you were doomed to begin with. Delhi Capitals from a team that was so strong that you thought that they were title contenders the last few years. Yeah. It's been quite a downfall for this team. And I think heads must roll, starting right from the top. Maybe you look at the coach, maybe you look at the captain as well. All in all, I don't think, they got lucky with some wins towards the end and kept the excitement on for all of us. But I really don't think they are a team that can really challenge other teams. So I think a lot of introspection is needed in that Delhi squad.
Let us look at this Delhi Capitals innings, okay? You had to just get rid of the top 4 and Akshar Patel. That's it. So, when Warner fell cheaply yet again, lot of questions will be asked now about David Warner also as a batter. Because he's not set the IPL on fire at all. And I think, as you say, no, Nikhil, the problem starts at the top. In this case, not just the management and backroom staff are a different thing altogether. But David Warner, I think whatever it is, every time Delhi Capitals have struggled, he has struggled in a big way. So, do you think...
By the way, no, I agree with you, Siddharth, on David Warner. I believe, and if my sources are correct, he's not been in the greatest of mood this IPL as well. We tend to see him in his social media avatar making a lot of reels. But I know that he's been kind of Mr. Grumpy around the team this season. I don't know what is the reason behind that. Possibly could be his poor form in international cricket. Possibly could be with all the talk surrounding him, whether he's going to be that opener in the Ashes. You of course have that big World Test Championship final where he's fighting for a spot. Those could be the irritants that probably made him Mr. Grumpy this time around. I'm just talking about within the team. And obviously that translated in him not getting a lot of runs. See, when you're made captain, you're a star player, you are you're getting the big bucks. You are a IPL winning captain at that. So a lot was expected out of him. And you know what? The captain sets the tone, especially if he's an opening batsman. And I think the way he batted more in a way to get back into form rather than thinking of the team winning. And as soon as you are so involved in what your form is and how you can come out of it, I think you don't see the larger picture. And that was quite evident in the way Delhi played. In a team, again, as I say, in a team where Akshar Patel is your best batsman, taking nothing away from Akshar Patel, who's been outstanding even for India. But when he's your best batsman, just tells you the kind of, the lineup that they had. They were, I'm going to ask questions of Ricky Ponting and David Warner. They were very quick to write him off, saying that he's not, really amongst the runs. He's not living up to the promise that we expect him to do. Fine. And they put him aside. But shouldn't the same yardstick then be applied to the foreign players as well? I think that is something that the DC management would have to look into.
And also to add to your point, we're talking about Akshar Patel.
he feels your best batsman. Don't you want to bat him at 3, 4, 5? Today he's coming in to bat at 7. 7. When everyone else, you're putting Manish Pandey ahead of him. You're putting the likes of Lalit Yadav, Ripple Patel ahead of him. I don't understand it. It just makes no sense to me. He's been your best batsman. I think he's been one of India's best batsmen in recent times.
Yeah.
Now, we're not even talking Delhi Capitals. And he's coming into bat at number 7 when the game is done. At that point, it's a finished game. I don't understand. It just made no sense, especially when you needed someone who could score against the spinners.
Right.
Akshar Patel can score against spinners.
By the way, since we're talking about one captain who's not done very well, kudos to the other captain. If you were ever doubting his reading of the pitch, he was bang on today.
Yeah.
Both MS Dhoni and David Warner. So it was a sluggish pitch that we got in Chennai. Maybe now that you're getting into the business end of the tournament, games are getting crucial, you might just get the typical Chennai wicket.
Correct.
That just might suit CSK.
Yep, so that's bad news for the next game that will be played here at the Kolkata Knight Riders. Eeks, I think we may play party.
Then spinners versus spinners. That's nice.
Yeah, but KKR also got great spinners. I mean, you got Suyash.
Exactly my
you got
point.
Varun
That's my
Chakravarti,
point.
You got
Actually,
Narayan.
That's why he's excited.
Yeah,
That's
because
why
now
he's
you have 3 good spinners who'll get a slow deck. I mean, it's as good as home advantage, really. So there's no home advantage. It's 50-50, even Stevens. I like.
Yep, but look, if you have to say Delhi Capitals, if you look at Akshar Patel, this is not the first time that he's batted out of position. I mean, in most of Delhi Capitals games, he's come down lower down the order, and there was an explanation given, right, as to why Akshar Patel can't bat up the order. Because of some team composition or some team combination issues. That's why Akshar can't be promoted up the order. I don't know why he can't be promoted.
That team combination has really worked out for them. They are now in the top 2 contenders of this IPL.
They are, if you reverse the table.
I mean, it was terrible. I mean, if you look at it, 10 overs, 65 for 3. CSK were 10 overs, 67. Not much difference. But the next 6-7 overs, slow Bunsen burner. I mean, it was like they just couldn't read the spinners. Moeen Ali, 4 overs, none for 16. Jadeja bowling economically.
Jadeja. Yes.
So,
In fact, I think, look, let's be fair. We knew for a fact the match was done once that top 3 was out cheaply. There was once Warner was gone cheap, once Phil Salt was gone cheap, and once Mitch Marsh was gone, it was done because this middle order just doesn't inspire any confidence.
And you know, the other thing you need to look at, we agree that it was a slowish pitch, but then kudos to that lower order of Chennai Super Kings. I mean, look at the Dube going at 200 strike rate. Look at an MS Dhoni going at a 200 strike rate. I think, you know, if you have batting like that, then you can really consolidate and then ensure that towards the end that you have blasters like that. So all in all, I mean, even if you get a slowish pitch and you can get batsmen batting like that, then that'd be great. In Delhi's case, because your top order is not performing, the ones that are coming down the order, you know, Manish Pandey also knows there's only going to be one way that he's going to be playing.
Yeah.
So there's no way that you will catch up on that 100. I don't see. Lalit Yadav, I mean, you know, hardly played first game this season.
I thought first, and to be fair, he did hit some boundaries in the last over, but again, the match is dead. You needed 28 of 2, even with his 4 boundaries. So it was a done game at that point. And truth be told, I don't blame him or really any of the youngsters, because again, I don't think they've had that experienced core kind of step up at all.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, let's look at your top 4, okay? By the way, I think Delhi Capitals, all 4 overseas players. On this kind of a spinning deck, you needed some flexibility.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, I mean, the likes of Phil Salt, they may be great players. Warner, great player. Riley Russo, great player. Mitchell Marsh, also great players. But what happened today?
On a spin deck.
Unlike a spin deck, it was Deepak Chahar who came to the party today. That first couple of overs, the way he swung the ball, it was fantastic to see. And finally, he
You know
put
why?
that mojo.
I was just listening to Deepak Chahar because you make that point, the way he was swinging the ball. What Deepak Chahar has said, that 2 things. One, to swing the ball anyway, you need to reduce your pace, which he was doing. But he was saying, I was anyway trying to bowl a bit slower because he knew this was a slower deck. So it just worked out perfectly for Deepak Chahar, the kind of conditions where he anyway needed to cut some pace. Not that he's expressed, but even then, cutting that pace allowed him that swing, as you mentioned. And also was good, even if that ball wasn't swinging, even if it became old. The kind of deck that was on offer, both ways it really helped.
Yep, because if you look at it, Marsh also, Mitchell Marsh, he was getting the ball he got the wickets primarily bowling cutters that gripped the surface. Chahar tried that exact same thing. And that is why you see this particular wicket, although I don't know in what other wicket the KKR match might be held, that might be a flat deck because you are going to play on 6 to 7 strips. This might have been one of the exceptions to the norm because in the pre-match, you remember Shane and Nikhil, MS Dhoni had said this was the same pitch used for the LSG game. That saw 200. But with continued usage, maybe the pitch might dull down, it might slow down. So maybe the KKR game, maybe CSK knows that the strength of KKR lies in their spinners. They may want to nullify it and get it on a new track altogether.
Yeah. Why is Gargi so quiet today? It's not RCB that's lost, is it?
No, I've been looking for space to get in and talk a little bit. But I had this question that I wanted to throw.
Siddharth, you're not allowing her.
No, I am not doing anything. She's got the question right at that time. I am not doing anything.
No, I wanted to throw this question to the floor and, looking at today's match, it looked like that maybe if DC, contributed, every batter came in and contributed a little bit, it could have been a chaseable target. And the way that DC has performed so far in the tournament, where do you place the blame, right? Is it the management? Is it David Warner? What has gone wrong for DC?
It's a combination of both.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair, the management, since that high of 2019 and 20, they've just plummeted downwards. And yeah, they've lost a few key players here or there, but that's a problem which every team deals with.
Yeah.
So the simple fact of the matter is the players you chose to invest in after you lost out on that core, and it was a massive core they lost out on. Shreyas Iyer, who was your captain in 20, you lost out on a Kagi Saurabh, although not much of a loss right now. Yeah. But still, you lost out on a Shimron Hetmeyer. You lost out on a Marcus Stoinis. These are 4 sure-shot starters pretty much in that 11. You've reinvested, and sad to say, you haven't done a good enough job. Your domestic talent, you backed some young players who, quite frankly, haven't come good. David Warner, your most experienced batsman, your captain, and I think a lot of us were very happy to see Warner get a chance to lead, even though it was in horrible circumstances considering Pant's accident. But everyone thought that he'd make a difference because last year too, he had a decentish tournament with the bat. This year, nothing. He's carried on his international form here. He's maybe been trying too hard to get back into form, so get some runs. But he's not been doing it at a quick enough clip. So I think everyone needs to take cognizance of the situation and hold their hands up and say, yeah, we didn't do a good enough job. That includes management, that includes the players. And that is why, as we were saying, probably heads are going to roll. Because no one's done a good enough job.
Yeah. And do you think maybe the result could have been a little different if, the management had one of the power heads could have been an Indian, the captain could have been an Indian? Would it have impacted the team in any way?
I mean, you had Pant as captain, so would it have been different if you had one power hitter or a captain who was Indian? I mean, you did. His name was Rishabh Pant.
Yeah.
But even he last year didn't have that much of an impact to the bat.
Right. Yeah, but one other thing that was really working for them was, that opening partnership that was Shikhar Dhawan and Prithvi Shaw at one point.
Yes.
That was that thing that actually gave them impetus, and Prithvi was in good form, so he would barely,
19 and 20,
so he would barely take too many deliveries. He would get you those quick fire, runs. Shikhar then would consolidate,
correct.
So you would get that sort of a base, and then you had people like Rishabh Pant coming in a little later, and then that would take the team to a good enough total, and then their bowling was good enough too. I think that's one thing that they've been missing. Of course, the fact that your batting in Rishabh Pant is not there. I also remember, Amit Mishra used to be the one who used to be there at one point. They let him go, but he would be called in. He would pick up a lot of wickets at that time. So that was another thing that was working for Delhi. But they tried to change a lot of things, including their coaching staff, including their player setup, all of that, I think.
That coaching staff of theirs, by the way, is bloated. And I think that's another reason. Too many cooks will spoil the broth. They have 7 different members on the coaching staff. And truth be told, I think that's one too many. Maybe you need just about 4, 5, 7 people. How many ideas are you going to take on board? You have so many people in the coaching staff. You have a director of cricket. You have this and that. You get the point. I think it's too many cooks. And that's why I think heads are probably going to roll. So I'm not impressed with the way they've gone about with things at all.
I will add one more point to what Gargi has said, okay? We have often stated that in this team of 25 players, there are 25 players in the Delhi Capitals team, right? 22 have already gotten a game. 22 of them. And you talked about 7. I mean, Ricky Ponting is there, there is Shane Watson, there is James Hopes, there is Saurav Ganguly, there is Ajit Agarkar, there is Praveen Amre in the backroom staff. Now, 22 players out of 25 getting a game. The likes of Praveen Dube and you may say Lungi Ngidi haven't gotten a game yet.
Yeah.
That is a major problem.
And Lungi and Gidi.
And look at the CSK team on the other side. Doesn't matter who the coaching staff is, MS Dhoni will take all the call. So it makes sense. You have one, chain of command. And just before you go back to Delhi, I just want to spend some time talking about MS Dhoni today. I saw those visuals of him walking out. The Chepak was standing, the flashlights was there in the crowd, and he comes out to bat, and what a show he put on. I mean, turning back the clock, and I couldn't be happier for the Chennai crowd. It's the last few games, even though he said he's coming back next season.
Pretty much.
But with the way he's batting and with the way he's captaining and the way he's keeping, I think he's going to be there next season as well. So that's a great sign. I think that was a highlight for me for the entire match.
I mean, see, that approach, I had spoken about it even in the mid innings. 20 of 9. This kind of taking the deep approach works nowadays if he bats first. It doesn't work when you are trying to chase a big total on a sluggish deck. But the way how, again, it was a left armer, he targeted left-hander again, Khalil Ahmed, got those 2 sixes.
Yeah.
Vintage Dhoni, and of course, there was this caption that came out after the LSG match, wherein he hit 2 sixes of Mark Wood. North Star and the constellations. Those constellations were those fans clicking those torchlights. They had those torchlights. Dhoni was the North Star. So there is a lot of emotion going around in the Chennai Super Kings team, especially with the fans. Because now you're going to see Dhoni at Chepauk for only 2 more games potentially. One against KKR, the other either the qualifier or the eliminator. That's the situation at this point. So,
sorry, we were just looking at our own scorecard. Our team is struggling.
Yeah, so we were figuring out who has to go and bat when.
Okay. Nikhil, you batted twice, right?
Really?
Yeah, the scorecard. No, actually, no. What had happened was there were mistakes in the scorecard. So you went out to bat in the second last ball, which is when Sarthak had gone. There were issues with the scorecard.
No, I didn't.
He did. He went out to bat once.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just FYI, if Anurag can hear me, as soon as you phoned asking will Nikhil be on the live, that's when he got out.
Damn it, Anurag!
Oh man. So, basis next time is do not call Anurag. He will get a batsman out. And you called me a jinxer.
No, Anurag called me. I didn't call him.
No, Anurag shouldn't answer the phone. Simple. That's the way to go forward. Anurag, you're switching off the phone when they are going for the match next time. Okay. So, yes, but you guys are struggling. That's not good news. I mean, what's the situation there at the
Yeah.
Yes, not.
We're 82 for 5.
And you need 80 in 90 odd runs if I'm not wrong. There's a 1 second.
We need about...
Yeah, we need 96 runs. So that's 12 and over nearly.
Oh boy.
Oh. And
Oh,
what
boy,
is
indeed.
pitch like? I'd like to know.
shot.
Nice shot. Good one. More entertaining than the other match.
Okay, how's the pitch like? Gargi is asking, how's the pitch like?
Pitch not great today. It's a bit sluggish actually.
Yeah.
So stroke making is not great. But we also played some rash strokes today. So blame lies with us.
When Abhijit comes tomorrow, he's getting a solid trolling from me. Out
Yes,
first
he
ball.
is.
No, he'll get a trolling for a double reason. I'll tell you why when we also come to office.
Sure. I am waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
So, sluggish wicket, you should have played a lot in Chepauk.
We're 6 down.
6 down.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Pura
got
play 20 overs. Yeah, come on.
I just said I'll have to go, madam.
Yeah,
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
So,
Shane
who are
might
the
have to
star
back up.
performers so far? Star performers.
You can take a few questions if you'd like.
Sure, we can do that. So let's see, what's the first super chat that we have is Hariharan Vishwanathan, who's saying frustrating to see DC sending Akshar at 7. Franchisee owner should intervene and put some sense to Ponting one or fire them. Wow, very strong words.
But I guess we kind of agree.
But you
on
know
the
what
point
happened?
Because
Sorry, go ahead.
We all talked about this a few minutes ago that Akshar, since he's the best batter in the lineup right now, why not promote him? Why not send him up the order knowing that your batsmen are failing anyway? I mean, it's just a little bit dicey from the management at this point.
See, the problem is Delhi Capitals have been reliant on individual brilliances to get them. Warner against KKR, Phil Salt against RCB, then you had Ishant Sharma against GT, or Aman Hakim Khan. Aman Hakim in that way, 58 against GT. You did not have that balance. That balance could have been provided by Akshar Patel. Delhi Capitals, throughout the season, they just did not utilize him one bit. And the reason, I don't know why. Why is this happened?
See, you were talking about, I mean, everyone understands that he should be batting higher up the order. I agree with that 100%. Also left-hander, so, that makes it even more interesting. Send him higher up between a few right-handers that they have. I know David Warner is there, but he can be sent between Mitch Marsh, Phil Salt, and so on and so forth. But you were talking about, the owner should step in. I mean, you could, but what the problem is that you've got two very senior cricketing brains working in Ricky Ponting, in Saurav Ganguly, in a Watson, in an Ajit Agarkar. So it's not easy for the owner also to step in. And how do we know that the owners have that cricketing acumen to take the right decisions? Of course, they can definitely ask questions, and maybe this would be one of those questions it says we're asking. They might want to ask those questions too. But I guess they were all waiting for the season to be over and then maybe take stock. I know that they have two owners, but they, just like every other team, Delhi Capital also has stock taking. And once the season is done, that's when they'll all sit together and then decide what is the way forward. I don't see a lot of the names that we're talking about continuing. There are going to be heads that will roll going forward. Also, they need a few more personnel. I don't think with the setup of the team that they have, they can really be fighting or challenging for that title.
Yep. It's going to be a lot of questions will be asked from the Delhi Capitals management, the players after the end of the IPL, because now their next 3 games are 2 against Punjab and 1 against Chennai on May 20th. So that's the end of their campaign otherwise. But yes, 11 points, 11 matches, 8 points, 6 more possible. Looking very, very difficult. And yes, logically, as Nikhil said, the season is over for the Delhi Capitals. But we have got another super chats which is saying, I love how conveniently ignored GOAT AR Jad.
I think Ravindra
Jadeja.
Yeah.
Okay. Jadeja is rightly getting exposed this season as a finisher. Imagine playing this bad for India. Do you think Jadeja has been dragging in CSK down with his finishing, because he doesn't seem to be getting that touch? Dhoni 20 of 9, but at the other end Jadeja did struggle. And his struggles with the bat have been there throughout this IPL. Is it the situation that has resulted in a dip in form, or do you think that it can be conveniently ignored? I mean, those are the words that our family members are using, conveniently ignored. But
no, it's not. But he's also coming down. See, I'm just saying. Yeah, I was just talking about how even MS Dhoni has been underutilized that sense with CSK, because the top order has been doing the job more often than not.
Yeah.
And I mean, that batting position where even Jadeja comes is a hit and a miss sort of a position. Let's remember that he was also coming back from an injury. And since he's come back from an injury, he was playing Test cricket more often than not. I think it'll take some time. For the moment, I wouldn't be worried because, as I said, plenty of games to go in the IPL. Plus, क्योंकि एक ही आवाज सुनाई देती है, I'm more eager for him to have some good test form going forward in the WTC final. And then from there on, gradually get into ODI mode. ODI mode also doesn't require you to be batting as crazy as T20. And I think he's that accomplished a batsman to make that transition from Test to ODI. So at the moment, not overtly worried. Maybe if it was a T20 World Cup year, maybe. But because it's not so much. And I think his bowling's been doing the job for India. So not too much of a worry. Also see what it depends on how the team is doing. If the team tends to be doing well, as Chennai are, the second best team, this IPL, if I can say so, then I don't think you're going to really nitpick into each individual's form. And especially not Jadeja at the moment.
And just to answer that, Jadeja is your man of the match today, the player of the match, for his 1 for 19 and 21. Yep, he is the player of the match. So let's see, Anurag, can we just have a look at what MS Dhoni said in his presentation? This thing, can just take a look.
Wow, here's an interesting stat for you, by the way.
Yeah.
Chennai has now won each of their last 7 matches played against Delhi Capital at the Chepauk.
Yes.
This is their joint longest such streak. They also have this streak against another team. Which one? Any guesses?
RCB, is it?
That's correct. That's why I
I
asked.
knew it.
RCB.
Yes. Because from 2008 onwards, they have never won in Chepauk. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won in RCB won in Chepauk in 2008. CSK won in Chinnaswamy. Since then, it's been one-way traffic, absolutely, for them. So, what did MS Dhoni say in his post-match presentation? He said, it turned a lot in the second half. We know that our spinners use a lot more seam than some of the other bowlers. We thought it'll slow down. We didn't know what's a good score. That's why I wanted the bowlers to bowl their best deliveries, but not look for wickets every delivery. That's when you start not bowling well. Wow. I felt 166, 170 was a good score, but as a batting unit, we can do better. The good thing is Moin and Jaddu got a chance to bat. As we get closer to the last phase of the tournament, okay, where did it go? It is important that everybody has a few deliveries under the belt. We need to be happy with our batting. I would have loved Mitch Santner. He's a bowler that has done very well on flat wickets with the new ball.
Ooh.
So there was a conundrum between Mitchell Santner and Pathirana. But unfortunately, Pathirana will have to make the cut because of his death overs.
Yeah.
He hits the seam and bowls at a good pace. Gaikwad is batting really well. He's somebody, once he starts scoring, he's very effortless. So that is the basic thing. But as far as the batting is concerned, we can do better. What are the problem areas, do you think, Nikhil, in the batting area that CSK have going ahead into the next 3 games and potentially the knockouts?
I think, one would be Ruturaj Gaikwad's form. He started this IPL fantastically well, but then, hasn't got a 50 for a long time. So I'd expect him to come good. That's one reason. I think Moin Ali is the other one that they really need, who should start firing. Other than that, I think Dube has been very good. MS Dhoni, in the little opportunities that he's got, he's been very good. So I think overall their bases are covered. Their bowling seemed to have been a problem, but then when you are playing under MS Dhoni, he somehow finds the bowlers to perform. Whether it's Tushar Deshpande right now, Deepak Chair is back, and then Pathirana, what a revelation he's been this time. So that was their weakness, but they've covered that as well. So I don't see too many weakness with a sharp captain as MS Dhoni and Chepauk becoming, the fortress that they wanted to be with the kind of conditions, and that they'd be playing their one qualifier or eliminator, whatever that. I think it's all looking very good at the moment for CSK to be playing a final.
Yeah, and I think we should talk about Shivam Dube a lot more today because he's been so consistent in batting at such a good strike rate. I mean, 200 almost in every single match, and he's, been absolutely brilliant. And I wanted to ask, where do you see his career going in the next 1 year? Is he someone that's going to be fast-tracked, or where do you see him ending up?
You know what? I would, see, at the moment he's a young guy, okay? Now remember, he's one of those guys who's already played for India.
Yeah.
I think they were a bit harsh on him. They got him quickly and then they let him go. And by the way, I remember the majority of criticism that he's got, whether it's for India or playing for the IPL, has been on the account of his bowling. Where the situation is right now is hardly bowling. So he's now looking as a pure batsman. I think he's given up on that particular aspect of his game. Maybe if he was still doing that over a year and two, then he would have been fast track, because you know how short we are of fast bowling all-rounders. But because he's not been doing that, he will have to be viewed as an out-and-out batsman. Yes, he's a good finisher, young kid, has all the shots in the book, can tonk the ball really well. I think he can be looked at maybe with the 50 over World Cup, not quite, but T20, you are rejigging the team. there is scope there. You're looking at other players to come in. You almost have a new captain. I think it's almost assured that Hardik is that captain. You were looking for a few young guys to start firing. You tried to look at Tripathi, was so in whatever limited opportunities he's got. Deepak Hooda hasn't been firing. He was the other guy you were looking at. With them not firing, I think you are looking at someone like a Shivam Dube now who can be looked at. So I think he'll be a serious contender for the Indian setup in T20 right now. And if that goes well, maybe going forward in ODI cricket. Right now, I don't see too many changes in ODI cricket with the World Cup around the corner. You'll have the regulars playing. But T20, as and when you play, not too many T20 cricket now, as and when you play, I think Dube needs to be looked at.
Well, Dube in this IPL has been a revelation. I think what might happen is if Dube continues to have an excellent 3-4 games, then potentially he can be in contention for the T20I series against the West Indies. Because see, the next amount of T20Is that are going to play is on that West Indies tour.
Yeah.
That is the build-up for the 2024 T20, World T20 that's going to happen. So, if they want to make the team, it starts from June, July itself, because you're going to play the West Indies for 3 ODIs, 3 T20Is and 2 tests potentially. That's the schedule at this point in time. But I hope he does well, because you've got 2 more matches now after this. KKR on 14th and 20th is against DC.
Yeah.
Hope Shivam Dube does well, because he's been scoring, as you had pointed out, in the mid innings. Very tough runs in the toughest period of the game. When the power play is over, he's come in and cleared the boundary rope. So, it's done. Okay. Already 45 minutes have been done. Oh, goodness. Okay.
No worries, we can.
Yep, we can. So, Sridhar Savaikar is saying, man, how good Pathirana is. Okay. How good Pathirana is. His maturity, composure, execution is spot on. And the pace he's bowling consistently at 148, 149 with those accurate Yorkers. He's going to dominate IPL for some time. Your thoughts?
You know what I've been thinking about? With the way that he's bowling and the age that he's at, Sri Lanka have a golden opportunity to bring him in the international circuit. And you know what happens when he's in the international circuit? I am afraid of Indian batters facing Pathirana.
Okay, but MS Dhoni has told the Sri Lankan cricket board, do not rush Pathirana in.
True, but somewhere down the line there will be a time when Pathirana will be maybe twice as good, thrice as good, and he'll face the Indian batters. I'm kind of, it will be scary for us to watch, because he's so good at it, at what he does.
So, Pathirana for the T20 World Cup, maybe. Do you see him play ODIs?
As of now?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. Because yes, with that action of his, maybe fitness might be a concern going ahead. Because look, Malinga at least did not have his head falling off. This guy's action is like, it's really low. And the way how his head comes up, it's going to be a really big problem.
Yeah.
So, I hope his fitness is maintained. And I think you'll have to listen to MS Dhoni for that.
And even when it comes to the technical rules and all of that, I think he's very close to breaking a few boundaries right now.
Yep, I mean, kudos to the Sri Lankan system for giving an opportunity and a launch pad for the likes of Malinga, Pathirana. You look at unorthodox, you look at all the other mystery spinners, there's only one land that they've come from, and
Sri
it is
Lanka.
The Emerald Isle of Sri Lanka, indeed. And Shirish Gole is asking, will Ben Stokes get paid full amount? No, because see, Ben Stokes, did he join the squad late, or was he there from the very beginning?
He was there from the beginning, if I believe.
Okay,
if I'm right.
So he was injured for a couple of games, okay. He didn't miss the Chennai Super Kings playing this thing. He was there in the squad, he was there in the camp. So he played a couple of games. So whatever is his injury, whatever he's missed, he will be paid on a pro rata basis.
Yes.
This is not the case with Kyle Jamieson. Remember, Kyle Jamieson was bought for 1 crore by CSK, but because he was injured even before the camp started, he is not going to be paid the full amount. I have done a video explaining how the payment system works in the case of an injury, in the case of everything else. So suppose Stokes has missed 6 to 7 games, supposing. Out of the 14, he will only be played, if he plays in 7, he will be paid for only 7 games.
Yes.
That is the method of how payments are done in the IPL. You can check that video out, which I did in the aftermath of Kane Williamson getting injured. Any more questions, Anurag? Can we go down? Sanjay Swaminathan, in one word, NOOO. No. Harish Madhisetti, has anyone thought CSK would reach top 2 without Ben Stokes playing 11? I thought so.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think it's pretty evident that, CSK is a strong team. They've got brilliant players. In the beginning, I must say, I have to admit that the first few matches, I really thought CSK wouldn't even qualify. But then, the combination really started clicking and everyone started performing and everything just started making sense when it came to the team. And
I think the inclusion of Pathirana.
Yeah, changed a lot
Everything.
of things for CSK, for sure.
And also, one more inspiring inclusion was Ajinkya Rahane.
Yes, I was just about to point that out because, everyone loves a good comeback story. We love it. We're all fans
Yep.
of it. Ajinkya Rahane is someone who's never been hated or, he's always been a player that has been well respected, well loved. It was sad to see him go out of the Indian squad. Not a lot of us liked seeing that. I personally used to root for Ajinkya Rahane to come back in the team, and then the way he came back, and this is not the kind of performances that he's dishing out. You do not see that from Ajinkya Rahane. It's just something completely new, like Ajinkya
Exactly.
2.0.
Ajinkya 2.0
Yeah.
indeed. And that is why that inclusion that he had in this Mumbai game, it changed Chennai's fortunes totally.
Absolutely.
And Ronak Sinha said, do you think CSK will make any changes going forward? Sheikh Rashid, Prashant Solanki, Shubhranshu Senapati, no more changes, whatever might happen. It could happen in the Indian team, or in the Indian contingent. How much ever I look at it, maybe Akash Singh might get a game, maybe. But I don't think the likes of Sheikh Rashid, Prashant Solanki, Shubhranshu Senapati will get in. Because see, had Ajinkya Rahane not fired, then potentially Shubhranshu Senapati might have come in. Prashant Solanki, why don't they play a leg spinner? But I think they've already got too many spinners. Moeen is an off spinner. Jadeja is a left arm orthodox. Thikshana is a mystery spinner. I think Prashant Solanki isn't getting in. Sheikh Rashid came as a substitute. I think that's about it. No more changes.
You know what just clicked to me, and in the post-match, MS Dhoni talked about wanting to play Santner. And now that Moeen today also did not perform very well, didn't contribute with the bat. Did he get any wickets?
He got 4 overs, none for 16.
So
He bowled economically.
Economically, yes, but obviously at the end of the day, you need wickets, you want wickets. I think next match we just might see Santner come in for Moeen Ali.
If that happens, then I think you've got your batting and bowling sorted out. Because see, Moeen hasn't done much with the ball or with the bat this entire season.
Yeah.
And Santner, well, but the problem is 2 bowlers with the same unidimensional action. There is Jadeja left arm, Santner left arm. Maybe in the KKR game, depending on the kind of pitch, perhaps they might have a, or maybe at the Arun Jaitley Stadium.
Could be.
Maybe.
Could be.
But it's a good point taken. So Just for Fun is telling us, if any team till number 8 wins at least 2 matches, then DC and SRH are out. This is his calculation, by the way.
Okay.
But I am telling you, let this week of the double headers end. Then you only have 1 week. And if my gut instinct is right, 3 places are all but secure. The absolute dogfight is going to be for that 4th spot. Any team out of KKR, RR, LSG, not LSG also, because they're also in the mix now, because Mumbai have leapfrogged to 3rd.
Yeah.
KKR, RR, LSG, RCB, Punjab Kings, and even Sunrisers Hyderabad, they all can still stake a claim for it.
Yeah.
That is the way I look at it. But he's adding further. Just go down a bit, Anurag, a bit. I just want to see that comment, the last one. Yeah. IMHO, yeah, that one. This one, just a bit down, yeah. Okay, in my honest opinion, Warner should quit IPL and go to county to save his international place. He's already late on the county part, but Gargi, do you think Warner should quit IPL after the end of this season? And do you think 2023 is done for David Warner? I think that's his last as a cricketer. What do you think?
I think this is completely David Warner's call. If he still has that, will in him, that fire in him, that I'm going to come back stronger. And, because he is coming at the end of his career now, and he is gotten old for cricket, not
Yeah.
old in general, just old for cricket. I think this is all on David Warner. If these losses or this horrible tournament kind of ignites a fire in him that I'm going to come back much stronger next season, then he might, or otherwise, he'll just say maybe it's my time comes to an end. Maybe he'll just bow out.
Okay, I'll take the other comment of Gaurav P later, but Rajshekhar Balraj is asking you, Gargi.
Yeah.
Who is your fourth spot team?
Who are the three? GT,
GT, CSK, MI.
MI. See, logically, I think it would be RR,
Okay.
but RCB, I want RCB to make it.
So, heart says RCB, mind says
RR.
RR.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is where the heart is. Boss, when it's IPL and teams, your heart is here, it's not here. So, RCB, well, see, RCB is, unfortunately, there are 3 games, of which 2 are away. All 3 are very tricky because their next game is against Rajasthan Royals. So, they will cancel out.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
one
yeah.
cannot get to 16
Yes,
out of that.
Of course.
Their next game after RR is against SRH, a team that always loves to dump them out. And the third one is against GT.
Yeah.
Their last league game at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. And Rupak Nicholas is like telling me CSK can't replace Moin versus KKR because there are too many left-handers in the KKR 11.
We just discussed that.
Yeah, but see, who are the left-handers? You've got Nitish Rana, you've got Sunil Narayan, you've got Rinku Singh. That's 3.
Iyer also? No.
No, there is no Iyer. Venkatesh Iyer, but he's coming on as impact. Yeah, that's 4. So 4 left-handers in that top 7. Yeah, then you're right, Ropak. Iyer, Narayan, Rinku, and which other one? Nitish Rana.
Count.
Nitish Rana. So yes, then I think they will. Moeen Ali will have to be in that. But one hopes that he can get a run with the bat and the ball because I hope he does a Watson. Scores when the time is really crucial. So that is why. Ronak Sinha saying Ben Stokes can add value to this team. Devon Conway seems to be worn out in the last few games. If CSK win, they can give chance to Santner and Stokes. Hardly unlikely. And remember, Conway, you need him as an opener. Stokes isn't an opener.
Yeah, exactly. How will you fill the opening spot? Because everyone is doing well where they are.
Yep. So that is the major part. Devon Conway will have to be there. Moeen Ali, depending on the matches, he has to be there. Pathirana will have to be there. Chikshana also. Although again, Chikshana dropped a couple of catches today as well. If you want a safer fielder, get Santner in. Because Chikshana as a fielder has been woeful.
Yeah, I mean you can't go on ignoring that because at the end of the day there is a very famous saying in cricket it is that catches win you matches.
Absolutely.
And it does make a difference. We saw that many times now that you drop a player, a batter on 4-5, they'll go on to score a 50.
I mean, just yesterday the MI RCB game, I think Nehal Vadera dropped Duplessis on duck.
And look at.
He went on to make 70 odd.
Yeah.
So, imagine had Duplessis gone cheaply, then RCB wouldn't have even made it to 199. So,
but when it comes to CSK, the way they're batting, the way they're defending, do you see CSK, making it to the final spot, the final 2?
They are favourites for the top 2. Because that one point differentiator is going to be there. So, either they are finishing second or first. But again, if they want to finish third or fourth, they still have to remember that there is one more game that they have to win.
Yeah.
They have to win one more game now against either KKR or DC to seal their spot. Because the other teams can still get to 16 at max.
Yeah.
GT, if they win against MI tomorrow, that also cancels out. So that is why if GT win, MI can only get to 16.
Yes.
CSK have to win one game to qualify. That's it. KKR, if they beat KKR, then KKR cannot qualify. Tomorrow, by the way, is a very important game because it's KKR versus RR. that team, if anybody who wins that, can potentially seal that fourth spot.
Yes.
Because Kolkata's next games are very tricky. One against RR, one against CSK, one against LSG.
Yeah.
Those 3 games are going to ensure that KKR make it or not. They can cancel out both RR and LSG's chances also in that. So Ronak Sinha is giving me one more final comment. Open with Rahane, Moin, Stokes at 3. Anyway, Stokes will leave for Ireland during playoffs. That's the problem. I don't think they're going to play him for 1 or 2 games and then, okay, let's go. The entire team composition gets balanced.
Yeah.
And AJ Styles is now giving, what do you think about this suggestion? Mukesh and Akshar should leave for England to practice.
They can't just leave their franchise and go to practice.
But now with Delhi out, why can't the franchisee make a bold call? As they say, एक ही नाम सुनाई देता है.
There is a rule that after the league matches have ended, they can, but I don't think they'll do that.
The BCCI is all powerful. I
No,
mean.
they can't. BCCI is also benefiting.
But they
from
can
this, yeah?
they can modify the rules. Okay, I see only, as you say, I see only one name, and that is India. Why don't they go to England? It's a good suggestion, but we are living in a Wizard of Oz land if that ever happens. Remember, when Mumbai Indians were out, Bumrah played all 14 games. He still exasperated that back injury.
Yeah.
So it's not happening. Which captain is with Dhoni or any other team? Dhoni. Anand Singh, only one. As far as white ball captain is concerned, MS Dhoni, the greatest ever. No doubt about that. Gaurav Jaile saying LSG team, dark horse, dangerous team. Yes, they are. And Chennai Super Kings. So that's about it. For this game today, it is Chennai Super Kings who have come one step closer to the IPL playoffs.
Yes.
1 point behind GT. And tomorrow, we are going to see Shane and Saransh. Maybe they might be heartbroken or they will jump with joy because it's Kolkata Knight
Or we'll
Riders.
have a new dance.
They have a new dance.
Maybe. I'm just saying.
Maybe a new dance. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And KKR versus RR. Very, very important game. We hope the rain does not play havoc because Cyclone Mocha is predicted to make landfall by Thursday night or Friday. That is the thing. So let's hope rain stays away because if rain comes, no chance for either KKR or RR then.
Yeah.
Very difficult. So action-packed week coming up Thursday with KKR, RR. Then we have the cross-country derby MIGT on Friday. Then we have the second last week of the double headers.
Yes.
And you'll come to know who are your top 4 by that time.
Yeah.
So, from me and Gargi here, it's a very good night. We'll be back tomorrow for the KKR RR game. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and we'll have more conversations and banter and more fun. Thank you so much. And from me and Gargi here, it's good night. See you on Friday. Vanakkam. Men in purple versus men in pink.
Yes.